Bungie just dropped its first stream of the reveal to Into the Light, and they told us about a 3-player activity called Onslaught. This is going to be a horde mode to where you and your friends can go in and just battle up to 50 levels. What if you don't have friends? Well, it's matchmaking. You can do 10 levels and defeat a boss and still get sweet, sweet loot. But Fire Team Finder, LFG, Discord, community chats, making friends, getting more loot. I'll just shut up now. It's making too much sense. So if you and your friends want to take a real challenge, they were stating today that we could do 50 tiers of GM difficulty. It's going to be like the legendary Onslaught. A lot of the key points you're going to see playing in the background is Bungie going to be talking about everything I'm telling you, so this will be repeated. Extinguish will be activated, so if you and your teammates die all at once, grab your lunch and go to orbit. I'm just repeating what they said. You will actually have to restart. So this will be pretty interesting. And they said if you do the normal version, you'll get single loot all the way up to level 50, then you'll get double loot at the end. If you do the legendary version, you're going to get double loot the whole time. I think they're going to spoil us with loot like the coil or even better. So pretty much what I gathered from the stream today is Onslaught's going to be that 3-player activity, kind of like the public event. It kind of gave me like the Foundry vibe, like, you know, you're grabbing the charges, you're throwing it at the battery, but we got cool things like these turrets and the tripwires and the decoys. The fact that you can upgrade them, you can also lose them. So like if you spend all your scrap and then, you know, a tormentor comes in, which there is tormentors, and they take out your turret, pretty much all the scrap that you invested in for your defenses is gone. So I think we're gonna have to be strategic here. We're gonna have to use certain builds. Obviously just make tons of heavy with like Cenotaph Warlocks, but ad clearing builds are probably definitely gonna be coming into the play. We don't know how much health these bosses will have, so maybe we'll have to switch right before the boss, because I did see that we were able to rally the flag before the boss room, but in the legend mode, we might not be able to switch because our key items might be locked. Overall, I just wanted to make a quick video on this and let you guys know that I think this is really cool. This is free content. This is stuff you don't have to pay for, and I haven't really seen anything like this probably since Forsaken days. We can't judge yet. We have to play it on April 9th. Next week we will find out reward system and more things coming in Into Light. In the background, I'm going to play some of the key points that Bungie mentioned about Onslaught. Enjoy it, and we'll see you guys next time.
For those of you out there that are Twit enjoyers that had a chance to go ahead and see what we've been posting the last week, we went ahead and released some key art last week that is now up on screen. You can see here, there's a lot going on here. So let's go ahead and just start. Tom, can you tell us a little bit about what Onslaught is?
Yeah, so Onslaught is a new 3-player activity that's the kind of the core of Into the Light. It's available to all players.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see in this key art, like this is like a kind of aspirational view of what Onslaught is in game.
Yeah.
It's a new wave defense activity. It takes inspiration from a lot of modes we've looked at, like in other games and our games.
Yeah.
Throughout our kind of history, and you can see here you're in the last city.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited that our players are going to be able to, like, the Guardians are going to be able to hop into this space and defend the last city and eventually take the fight to the Witnesses' forces here.
That's right. And we're also getting some help from a tried and true sharpener of Guardians as well. Shax is going to be helping us out as well, right?
Absolutely. Where some see calamity, Shax sees opportunity.
Yeah.
And he is going to be opening up his arsenal for us to enjoy. I think we'll hear about that next week, right?
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, he'll be your vendor, and I'm really excited for players to hear from him.
Our first really interesting part of this activity, which is our purchase phase. Killing enemies will grant you scrap, like we see in the top left, and we have 30 seconds to pick one of a suite of upgrades. We have tripwires that you can buy for 1,000, decoy, which is our lovely sweeper bot here, and turrets. I know people are very curious about turrets, so I'm just going to buy this first.
There we go.
But we have our lovely guests, Clayton and Ashley, who have helped create this activity in our playtest team. They're with me helping fill out the fire team, and they're building their defenses.
It's always best to have some solid teammates. And also for the folks in chat noticing some weapons, go ahead and just go ahead and observe everything you can possibly see on screen. Oh, it's okay. We're going to have plenty of time to dig through those inventory screens. But in the meantime, yeah, chat is connecting some dots with the things they may have seen in the key art.
You can see the horizontal beams. Those are trip mines. As you upgrade them, the colors will change. You'll be able to do more damage and kind of fire off more
Trip mines get more charges.
Yep.
And they get more in size. If you upgrade it, you'll go from 1 trip mine to 2, as we see here, which is really nice.
And then we've also got the turrets. Know if you could show off a turret in a second.
Oh yeah.
Those as well. When you can upgrade those three levels as well, they change color. They deal more damage. They get more health.
Yeah.
The fire rate increases actually also.
Yep. And then we've also got the Sweepy Bot, who do also those decoys. mostly just gain health and change color a little bit. As Noah said earlier, there's 50 waves in our challenge version of this activity.
Okay.
There's the playlist version, which is just one location. It's easy, quick, fun to hop into. You do 10 waves and you're done. And then there's the challenge version, which we're showing here. So there's 50 waves or 5 sets of 10 waves.
Yes.
Is how we like to talk about it. And with each of those sets of ways, we move around the map between 3 different locations.
Okay, got it.
And so you'll start at one ADU, you'll defend it, you'll take the fight to the witness for a little bit, you'll come back, and then you'll build up defenses more, and then go fight a boss.
Yeah, which is what we're seeing as well right now. Like, we're on board a pyramid ship now, right?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite phases. Where instead of defending the ADU, we take the fight to them. And as you see, we cultivate a spark of light, and it's time to run it down, destroy the witnesses, lieutenants, and, do a fun backflip. Let's hope I can pull that off.
Do the backflip.
It's important. If you don't do the backflip, chat's going to be very upset. I can already tell.
Very.
Here we go.
Look at that.
Here we go.
Ooh! Something I neglected to mention, which we've been doing this whole time, is the ADU batteries will actually heal it, kind of similar to like Forges in the Black Armory from my real vets out there. And the ADU, the enemies are naturally compelled to come over here and like attack it. They'll shoot it, they'll knife at it. But also, if there's any enemies that stay in the radius of the ADU, you'll see it'll turn red and damage will start to tick. So that's when you need to throw your ADU batteries in there, and you'll get scrap for that. But if your ADU's full on health, you'll actually get 3 times the amount of scrap. So it's in your best interest to try to keep it as healthy as possible, because you might be able to snowball your defenses. So as we see, we are actually in the pyramid again for the boss. We're taking the fight back to the witnesses' forces. And this brings up a really interesting part of all of the boss phases, where instead of having immune shields or immune phases, we have different augmentations that allow you to increase your effectiveness against the boss. So for example, this one is Augmentation Well. If you stand in these wells and defeat high value targets, you will actually deal increased damage to the boss for the rest of the fight. That's something, because these are meant to be kind of like victory laps, like you've survived against the ADU, it is time to just, you're single-mindedly take down the boss.
Yeah.
So playlist is random matchmaking, or you can bring your fire team in.
Yeah.
And then I believe the challenge modes, of which there is a normal version and like a hard version, which goes up to GM. I believe that the normal version is match made. We can correct on socials maybe for the second one. I don't think it's match made, but I think everything supports fire team fighting.
Cool, awesome. Yeah, obviously. And honestly, too, it never hurts to bring in your own GM crew if you're pushing 50 waves.
No, we definitely want you to communicate in that activity on the upper end, especially. You're going to have a much better time.
Yeah, honestly. And also, I think I saw a question in chat. I missed the name, so apologies to whoever asked this. Is scrap individual, or is it fire team wide?
So we've got an interesting way of doing it. So the fire team earns scrap together, but you each get to spend individually.
Oh,
so you can't mess up your fire team mates by like overspending. You've got your own little stock, your own little wallet, purse of scrap to spend. So you can coordinate if you want, or you could just spend how you see fit to help the team.
Yeah.
In general, like anything you purchase is just going to help.
So new ADU, new location?
Well, that's something I neglected to mention. So every time you do a boss, you will actually change locations, and let me just buy something real quick so I have money. But the defenses you pick, like that you placed before in your previous locations, those will still be active. So that means that you building up your defenses over time, you obviously can't upgrade these since they're not at the location you're on, but they will help you when the waves get harder. So you having a level 3 turret or level 3 decoy somewhere, that will actually help you out, and you'll be able to take aggro from the waves. Like we see, hey, the turret right there doing damage to the knights. That it all kind of helps that feeling of feeling like you're the vanguard and the last city, like you're helping to defend them.
JR Bizzle in chat asks, are the rewards going to be tied to the wave you get to? Now, I know Noah kind of mentioned this a little bit when he was referencing the coil earlier, but obviously there's between the level 10, or pardon me, the 10 wave and the 50 wave versions, what's the reward story for each one?
So in all the activities, every time you beat 10 waves and you beat the boss, you'll get a chest.
Okay.
Get rewards.
So every 10 waves, you get, okay.
And then in the challenge mode, there's a normal and the hard version of those. In the normal version, you get a normal chest all the way until the last wave. You can beat the final wave.
Yeah.
You'll get double rewards.
Oh, okay.
And then if you play the hard mode, you get additional rewards in all the waves.
Excellent. Okay.
And so like, there's some little surprises there too we might have along the way at the end as well, just if you're lucky.
Kurt Jones, 29, asks, how do revives work in this activity, both between normal and legend?
So that's actually a great question. as we see now, there is not. Oh my good lord! Wait, give me a second. Give me a second.
What a great time to think critically. The Tormentor on your doorstep.
I can answer that for Noah. No, take down the Tormentor. The way
Oh,
that revives work is like in the first 2 sets,
Yeah.
darkness is off. But when we get to the 3rd set, we
Yeah.
turn darkness on.
And
so
extinguish.
if you all go down, or the ADU goes down, the activity's over.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
So you just take the rewards you got for the 2.
And in
awesome
Legend,
you got.
that's on by default.
Yeah, you don't lose any rewards. Every set you complete, you'll get rewards.
Yeah.
But if you're halfway through a set and you fail,
Yeah.
that's it.
That's it.
God.
Just take your lunchbox and go home.
Die.
Yeah, well, you can hop right back in the playlist. Or
That's
hop right back in with your friends and
Yeah.
try again.
Which is what I'm going to do, frankly. Vadar477 in chat asks, will there be, like, if you have just 2 people on your fire team and you want to go in solo, is there a private mode you can dive into this with?
I believe if you hop into higher difficulties, you can do that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right.